Cannonier versus Borralho, 5-fight main card that will rebuild the middleweight contender ladder. Let's fire it up.
You're listening to Submission Script.
Before we begin, make sure YouTube still has a subscribe button and tap it to make sure it still works. We'll be listing our cash bets in the description for all to see. May the betting odds forever be in our favor. Cannonier and Borralho prelims kick off at 6 p.m. Central. Main card opens up at 9 p.m. at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas. Your main card fights are Shabazyan versus Meerschaert, Magny versus Michael Morales, Ryan Loder versus Robert Valentine, Angela Hill versus Tabitha Ricci at co-main, and Cannonier versus Borrahlo for the main event. Middleweights jump right into the first fight of the evening with 13-4-0 Edward Shabazyan looking to reclaim his reputation as the Golden Boy against 36-17-0 Meerschaert. 26-year-old Shabazyan got off to an impressive start, walking in the UFC undefeated and racking up 3 first-round finishes in his first 3 UFC bouts. Standing tall and full of confidence, after his first 3 fights, he was quickly rocked back down to reality with a 3-fight losing streak, a win, and a first-round TKO loss. His next fight, and the most recent, would be a win, but is the Golden Boy on a return, or did he catch a lucky left hook? The man to set the record straight Saturday night will be 36-17-0 Meerschaert. Meerschaert has seen 20 fights under the UFC banner with a mixed record of 11-9 in the Big Show. He's lost 4 of his last 5 fights and is looking for a redemption of his own. The tapes show that Shabazyan has excellent traditional boxing skills, including combinations and evasive footwork. He has a cannon of an arm and can stumble less stable opponents than going for the ground and pound kill. Unfortunately, Meerschaert is structurally larger than Shabazyan and can parry, slip, and land decently well. Meerschaert's advantage is on the ground, where he's racked up 28 wins over his 17-year career. Shabazyan tends to fail on the mat and quickly gasses out after a round of grappling. Odds have the Golden Boy Shabazyan at -325 and Meerschaert at +260. We'll take the quick cash on Meerschaert to win by submission. Fight 2 brings UFC staple and number 12 welterweight contender Magny fist-to-fist with rising star Michael Morales. Magny is the Anthony Smith of the welterweight division, blocking weaker opponents from climbing the ranks, but getting shut down by anybody who shows significant skills. Magny holds a 29-11-0 record with a history that looks like a string of Christmas lights, consistently winning then taking a loss over his last 11 fights. He has a non-traditional fighting style which can make him hard to predict, but he's slow enough to get rocked by a skilled boxer. Looking to add another red light to the string of Christmas lights is undefeated Michael Morales, standing strong on a 16-0-0 record and not looking to slow down anytime soon. 24-year-old Morales is 13 years younger than 37-year-old Magny, and he shows his vitality in his non-stop movement around the cage and limitless gas tank. Morales can wrestle for 3 to 5 minutes, then get up and still run circles around you with well-placed 1-2 combos. The odds show Magny at +500 and Morales at -850. This sounds about right. At least you can add a boost to the pocket change by calling for a TKO. If you're feeling squirrely, you can gamble on round 1 or 2, but we'll stick with the method bet. Next, we have a battle of newcomers between 6-1-0 Ryan Loder and 10-3-0 Robert Valentine. There's not much in the way of fight tape for these 2 fighters, but the little that there is demonstrates Loder's ability to step into the pocket and pin his opponents, mostly to weaken them, but occasionally ground and pound. Valentine has a more diverse set of weapons, being equally lethal on his feet and on the ground, and maintaining composure when taking a rare beating. He wrestles to win, Loder wrestles to fatigue. Valentine also carries a 2.5-inch reach advantage. The odds have Loder at +135 and Valentine at -160. We'll take Valentine for any kind of win. The co-main event pits 17-3-0 Angela Hill against 10-2-0 Tabitha Ricci in the women's strawweight division. Number 9 strawweight Hill is 12-13 in her UFC career, but is currently on a 2-win streak. 22 of her 30 career fights have gone to decision. Number 11 Ricci has a much shorter career at 10-0, but has won 5 of her last 6 fights, and is a bit stronger in her judo and BJJ game. Neither fighter is overly aggressive, and both have a majority of wins by decision. So we'll take the safe bet and play the -500 for the over 2.5 rounds. Ultimately, we lean towards Ricci for the win, so if you need a higher payout, bet on Ricci. Before we get into the main event, tap the like button so we can continue to provide you with more bet tactics and insights to boost your cash. The main event of the night will see 17-7-0 Cannonier defend his number 5 middleweight contender rank from number 12 16-1-0 Borrahlo. Both men are elite strikers with great defense and quick hands. Cannonier has been up against the best in the sport, including Anderson Silva, Sean Strickland, Robert Whitaker, and Israel Adesanya. Notable wins include a win by kick to the leg against Anderson Silva, and a second-round win by elbow strikes against Derek Brunson. He does have a mixed record in the UFC at 10-7, but can stay clear and calculated over 5 rounds. On the other end of the octagon, we have 16-1-0 the Natural Borralho. His only MMA loss was his second fight of his career, and it was by decision. He's fluid and tactical, and as his name suggests, he's one of the most natural-looking fighters you'll see hit the mat. He has a low-guard karate stance, but he stays laser-focused and avoids most attacks with his ability to slip and glide, keeping him at a low 2.06 significant strikes absorbed per minute, compared to Cannonier's 4.19. His strikes are decently strong, but his accuracy is what makes him dangerous. Being from Brazil and spending half his career in grappling competitions has made him a force on the ground as well, with 25% of his wins coming by submission. Borralho is still in his prime at 31, with Cannonier breaking the 40-year mark this year. Cannonier may find it hard to keep up with the constant movement and flow of Borralho, and will likely find himself getting knocked down and choked out if Borralho shoots the takedown. The odds have Cannonier at plus 170, Borralho at minus 205. We'll take Borralho for the win by any method, any round. We'll be putting $100 cash money on each of the fights and methods that we covered here, and you can track the overtime winnings in the description below. Until next time, train hard, fight hard, never tap.